DJDUBL.
It's DJDUBL here, and today I am joined by one of the illest duos in the UK production scene, pun fully intended. Dary and J Reel. I've got iLL Blu in the building.
Yes, yes.
What's going on, fellas?
Yeah,
welcome
good,
to the show.
Yes, thanks for having us, man.
I find that in the UK, producers, they kind of sit in the shadows a little bit. Let's just reel off some of the bangers that we've had from the iLL Blu camp.
Ooh, okay.
So we go way back, or we just.
So if you know a bit about UK funky, we did a tune called Frontline for an artist called Princess Naya back in the day. Dot Star, Stick Up Skank.
Oh, I forgot about that one. You know,
yeah,
I forgot about the Dot Star record.
Shiesty
Pull It.
We had Say Yes.
Say Yes was one of our records. Say Yes.
Blue Magic as well.
Blue Magic. So that's just from the funky era. We did The Way for Sneak Bow, Zim Zimmer, Y for Gecko, Liar Liar for Mo Stack, Let It Ring, What I Wanna for Mo Stack, Litness, his new one.
Young T and Bugsy.
Young T and Bugsy.
Monster.
Yeah, it's been
You're showing off that. You're showing off.
We've done quite a bit. We've missed quite a bit as well. So yeah,
certified out here. That's just. I feel like that's just a fraction of your contribution to the music scene, man. Like, that is literally like some of the bangers.
Yeah,
crazy. Where did the journey start for you guys as iLL Blu?
Started 2008, and we just on the off chance we made Frontline. And that was the beginning of iLL Blu, and then from there we just keep collaborating and just.
Do you know what? I reckon iLL Blu started in Napa because it was 2006.
Okay.
Yeah, so it didn't know it started, but it started then.
Yeah.
Because I went on holiday and I was like, I think Cure and the Curse was the record that was banging them times there, and it was like, need to do some funky house stuff. But it didn't come to fruition until, as James said, we stumbled across it. Princess Now wanted to make a record. We joined up, we created that record, and then that's Frontline, and that's iLL Blu.
Prior to that, you were both what, just producing on your own?
I was a rapper, he was a producer.
Okay.
Working together.
We was working together, yeah.
iLL Blu didn't exist at this
Didn't
point.
exist, no.
Right.
We met through a mutual friend, producer, I was a rapper. And
so I've been aware of you guys from... It's hard to pinpoint, but I would definitely say I was fully aware of you guys in 09.
Okay.
Napa 09.
Yeah.
UK funky just dominated absolutely everything. Yeah. Your productions were very, very prominent alongside like Crazy Cousins. I'd definitely say you guys and Crazy Cousins dominated the UK funky scene in terms of productions and songs. One of my favourites actually was Blue Magic. Which was released, funnily enough, in that whole era, that was one that was released without vocals on at the time. But I think it was Marcus Nasty played it to me the first, and he had a dub plate.
He had a dub at one point.
He was like the ground-breaking DJ for the funky, you know, like he even made Frontline what it was, you know, because he was the one that was playing it, and everybody gravitated to it, you know. So
that time there, were you guys really into the industry side, or was it just make a tune, get it out?
Do you know what? It was very, organic. We just used to make records in the bedroom, and then we had a list of guys we would send it to, and we just kept it like that. We wasn't really business like that. It was more about the feeling of the music and the dub stuff.
The main reason that records weren't
Pioneer, Hot Step Up, Marcus Nasty
on a mix CD, and then you heard a DJ playing a dub, but they weren't available to buy. Like, so we weren't really on the business at that point, but we have become that since. But
I've got a bit of a confession actually, because obviously I didn't know you guys. Today's the first time I met you. I actually made my own dub plate of Blue Magic because there was a version that I found that just said dub plate and it didn't say anything. So I found a voice clip of someone saying DJDUBL, and I just put it in there, and I'd play that out.
Sick. Improvisation. You gotta give it to you.
What a banger! Like, my favourite iLL Blu tune was the one you did with Shanique, Say Yes. I would love to hear like an R&B version of that now, like a 100 BPM kind of, bruv, or a slow jam version. Just putting it out there.
That's an idea.
Because I love her vocals are amazing. The production was the whole package, but I'd love to hear like a R&B version of that now.
Alright, remember that one.
Who inspires you in terms of producers?
Loads. So for me, growing up, it was a producer called Darkchild initially. He was very like R&B, did a lot of Destiny's Child, Whitney Houston, just everybody at one point, Michael Jackson. And then as I got more into hip hop, it was like Swiss Beats, Neptunes, Timbaland, Dr. Dre, like just all the Just Blaze, like all the big like kind of names in the early 2000s, late 90s. Yeah, so those are the producers that inspired me.
J Dilla, High Tech, Tone and Poke and Tone, Trap Masters, yeah. Yeah, it was just those kind of old school kind of. Where I was rapping as well. Used to try and get those beats, your Dre beats, your Neptune's beats, and you know. So yeah, it was those guys that really inspired us, you know, and making music.
That's so interesting because the inception of iLL Blu was UK funky.
Yes,
which is obviously a lot more house.
Yeah, but the root was always that hip hop R&B route. You forget what I mean? So it's the funky thing. We kind of stumbled across it, if you want to say that, you know, because we was making hip hop and then
we stumbled across it, and then I think our approach when making funky was like quite R&B.
R&B infused.
For a lot of the remixes that we did, you could hear like we was probably listening to R&B. You could hear that we probably made R&B before.
Safe to say it works though. What is your label situation? Are you guys signed to a label?
Yeah, we're signed to RCA.
So how does that work as producers?
So it's like an artist deal. Like if you any artist, so we're not artists. We're not artists still, basically. So we're working on the album, but we're just putting out singles. So the first record is Chop My Money. Yeah, and then we've got another record coming when it's ready.
When Chop My Money's done.
Yeah. You've got a super lineup for that as well. So yeah, man, we're just working track by track, and then when it's ready, the album will drop.
Sick. So Chop My Money. Yeah. Since we put it out there, let's talk about it. Why is now the time to be iLL Blu featuring?
Well, we kind of already started our journey as releasing records and having iLL Blu featuring back around, was it 2013?
Yeah, 2013. Because we signed to iLL originally, and we was releasing features then, but it's more house.
That was a lot more house oriented.
Very house,
stuff, wasn't it? Yeah.
So we started then, and then so over time, obviously we. As iLL Blu, like we're more well known for the houseier side, but we were producing behind the scenes for everybody, urban, pop, whatever. And then it was just one day we were like, you know what? Some of our favorite dance and house producers, as themselves, are producing hip hop, like Diplo, and even David Guetta is producing hip hop now. Like, why don't we already produce hip hop? Why don't we kind of fuse that into our sound? We're already making tracks for most, like Gecko, Sneakbo, Notes, whoever. Why don't we just fuse it? So that was the thinking behind, you know, stepping into this world, I guess.
Yeah, because sometimes you can get lost in trying to, like, you know, no, we've got to keep it like this, you know, we can't do too much things because blah blah blah. But I think the way music is now, the landscape, you can do that and you can maneuver and do.
I think Diplo as using him as an example is perfect. He's the perfect model of showing that you literally can do
anything.
Anything. He makes hip hop records that bang. He's got EDM tunes that absolutely ring off. So yeah, that's a very good point, man. It feels like now, with what's going on and the artists you're working with and the sound that you've got, it's almost, it feels like iLL Blu 2.0 has just begun. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like, right, the first chapter's completed. Yeah. Now we're really, because like you said, you have got releases under your own name, but now it feels like there's a lot more focus on iLL Blu really now, as like you said, you got the artist deal, so as the artist. So is that correct in saying that that's kind of the mentality now? Like
it's a new chapter, it's a new phase. You know?
We're in the videos now. We're taking pictures. You know what I mean? Like, making a conscious effort to brand ourselves and make people aware. Because for the longest, we meet people and go, "Oh, I didn't know you made that. I didn't know you did that." And what?
I only thought it was one of you.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's part to put faces to the name. And, you know, just build this brand.
Have you ever felt any kind of way, like when on radio, like, oh, this is Mo Stack, such and such? Have you ever kind of thought, well, it's us as well?
Nah, because that's part and parcel of being a producer. You play the background role. So that's not a problem. That's what producers are like. Aside from like, you know, your Pharrell Williams or your Swizz Beatz who has an ad-lib in the song and he's in the video, you know.
Short time.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? But, you know, so yeah, we're not fussed about that at all. But we do want to be recognised. So, you know,
it's time.
Of that is this new...
Yeah,
this new
iLL Blu 2.0.
Yeah.
I like that.
Last time I checked, the video had 3.5 million views.
Yeah,
like congratulations.
I
feel like getting that first million on a video is always the toughest one, but like 3.5 is very good, man.
Yeah.
Did you guys have expectations leading to the release?
Yeah, we knew it was a banger, but in regards to how quick it got to 1 million, didn't expect it to get a million that quick.
That quickly,
So,
but for the people that we had on the record as well, we're like, you know what, we should get some decent numbers. But yeah, it's just performing well. People seem to really like the song.
Yeah,
so that's
and it is a good lineup as well, man. I feel like you've got the perfect balance because you've got Krept and Konan who are the seasoned ones. You've got Loski on there who's obviously making a lot of noise, and Zie Zie as like the newcomer for this year. Like I felt like the collective on there.
Good collective.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it was really good, man. It was a good choice. How did you choose those guys?
So we've been working with Zie Zie for a little while. We actually produced Fine Girl.
How did you find Zie Zie? Because that was really his breakthrough record, wasn't it?
That was just through management.
Management, yeah.
Okay.
You know, we're industry now.
yeah, I see.
So we met Zie Zie through management, and then we was working with him producing his own stuff, and then we had Chuck My Money there, and we're like, do you know what, you should try a hook on this. So that was Zie. Krept and Konan, we worked with them before. Nothing had actually been released that we'd worked with them on, but
yeah, the Liar Liar remix.
Actually, that's true. But in terms of producing for them,
we met them. Our first time meeting them was before they were. I think the day they dropped the video of the Otis video. So before they were actually, So we've known them for a while.
So we'd worked with them for a little bit, and then Loski, we were just fans of him.
Yeah, fans of Loski, man. And we thought, how you explained it, that's the thought process. Yeah, definitely.
It's nice to see that you're very calculated with it. Like that's very dope, man. Strategic moves right there. Was there anybody else that you reached out for to come onto the record?
We have another version of the song.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, just through schedules and stuff, those people weren't able to be on it, but it's fine.
Those people will remain unnamed. Yeah,
you might see them, hear them on another record of ours. So
okay, is that version that's just staying in the vault forever?
Yeah, that's in the vault. Yeah.
Maybe the lost tapes, like 10 years from now, when iLL Blu 3.0 starts, like the lost tapes, it'll come out there. You mentioned Fish Go Deep earlier.
Yeah.
Cure and the Cause being one of the inspirations for you, kind of getting into the funky thing, and obviously that record plays a massive part in this single right here. So was that the thought process? Was it kind of like, look, this is one that really started the journey, let's start the new journey with that, or was it you just loved it?
Well, we're still paying homage to where we've come from. Obviously, it inspired us in the first place. There's always an idea that we wanted to flip. We're like, how come this hasn't been touched? Yeah, but it was never a hit.
It
was like culturally very big culturally. So, we just thought it would be the perfect track to be our first release. It just sounds good.
I love the way that you did it, like stuff like that. It is a classic record, and sometimes, you know, you hear things and you're like, it should have just been left alone, really. But I think the way you guys flipped it and made it your own was very, very dope. Did you have any kind of issues getting a sample clearance?
No, it was straightforward. We haven't had that much issues. We've only had one issue with a record, but that's it. Yeah.
Ring-a-ling?
Nah.
There was no issue.
There was no issue.
But that was some.
They just took long.
They took long. They took long.
Big up Jamaica. What was the song that you had issues with? Is it one that's out, or
it's
is
not
this
out?
another one?
It just didn't get released.
It
was. What's his name? I gotta get through this.
Yeah.
He ain't clearing nothing.
Daniel Beddingfield.
He ain't clearing nothing.
Really?
But this was a long time. It was about a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
That we tried to do something for an artist, and he just didn't. He didn't clear it. That's the only one we've ever had. Yeah, that song. Yeah, gotta get through this. Yeah.
Dun,
so
dun.
whoever tries to do that, they need to be his brethren. Give him a couple pints.
Yeah.
Try to sweet him up.
And some deep pockets as well. So that's another one for the lost tapes.
Yeah.
Right, we've got 2 songs so far. This is shaping up to be a pretty sick mixtape, man.
Yeah.
Who came up with the vocal side of it in terms of like the chorus and the melodies? Was that left to Zie Zie?
So we initially did a demo of it, and the Chop My Money was us. We wrote that, and then the pre-chorus part, that was Zie Zie, and then we just helped him tweak some of the lyrics.
How is he to work with? Obviously, being such a new artist, is he kind of still learning the ropes, or is he just falling straight into place?
Do you know what? He's got a natural. He's got a natural vibe when he jumps on a record. So like, a lot of stuff that he says just sound good. Do you know what I mean? Because he's got this sick melody, you know. So I'll say he's new in the studio, but he sounds not seasoned, but he's there. You know, he's
not out of place.
He's not out of place at all. He slots in. He slots in,
and he's willing to
take direction as well.
So.
You know, so he's humble with it. You know, he's a good guy, man. Very good guy.
10 years in the game, and so many different sounds and genres that you guys have done very well. Yeah. What's your favourite to make?
I think hip hop. You know, this
I'll say swing, funky and Afro swing.
This Afro swing hip hop
is effortless. I feel.
Yeah.
It's more about the vibe. It's more about the feeling. It's not about we got to put this hi-hat here or we got to make it sound like. Do you get what do you know? It's just like just the vibe. It feels good. It normally goes. You know. So.
Yeah. I would have thought house would be the easiest, just because going off of my experience. I mean, I'm not massively into the house scene, but what I do know of it can be like the more simplistic stuff sometimes rings off. I remember I spent 6 hours at Ushuaia once. It just sounded like a 6-hour song. That was that certain type of house. I'm not saying that's the type you make, but it just seemed like it wouldn't be that hard to make that sort of thing. Does that make sense?
I get that.
But I feel it's not hard, but you just have to make sure your sonics are very right.
Yeah.
And the difference between your song getting played and not getting played is how your kick hits.
It's down if you don't,
tailoring,
like the actual drum.
Yeah. People think it's that simple, but it's you really got to tailor and really go home into what you're actually doing, you know.
But with Afro swing, like it's a lot more enjoyable to make. I find anyway, because you can pull on like reggae moments or bashment moments. Like we've grown up with both like Jamaican kind of things, so we've grown up with those type of things in our household, so we can lean on those things. And then the R&B moments, we can lean on hip-hop moments. You can lean from loads of different things and take inspiration from so many different areas. So and then it just feels good. So I think in terms of, it might not be the most simplest genre to make, but it's probably the most enjoyable for us at this moment.
Who would be your ultimate collaboration? So like dead or alive, who would you most like on an ill Blue beat?
You go first.
Ooh, do you know what? I don't know. Probably going to change my answer later on, but coming straight to my head, I was listening to some Biggie, and I think his flow would sound dope over Afro swing tune or that type of vibe. I reckon he would sound good, but I don't know. There's probably some others, but he's the first person that's come to my mind.
Biggie, it's a good one.
Imagine that.
I switch. I could go for R&B kind of. If Aaliyah was alive, her on
Leah,
on actually that Say Yes kind of vibe. That was R&B vibe.
That literally just popped into my head. Like Aaliyah, imagine Aaliyah, Aaliyah featuring Biggie. Say Yes, 100 BPM.
Yeah,
dangerous.
That would work,
man.
Yeah.
Because with Timberland used to do that kind of the jerky kind of vibe as well. Do you get what I mean? So that would definitely work. Yeah,
I like that answer. You know, that's very, very sick. Because you've worked with so many different artists, what point does the creative session become like a business conversation? So by that, obviously, you've got artists like tunes you've done with Sneakbo that have gone on to be released and done under labels. But obviously coming with the, all right, yeah, come welcome to the studio. By the way, we split everything such and such. Like, here's how the money's like. What point does that conversation happen?
It's afterwards.
Yeah.
It's normally afterwards, yeah, and with management.
Yeah.
We tend to stay out
so
of that.
is it literally like that's,
yeah,
that's
we
the
don't.
show?
We don't.
Oh, okay, so that saves it being jarring.
Yeah, because we just want to be creatives, really. We understand the business, but at this, we're first and foremost, we're creatives, so we just want to focus on that. And then once we've got a tune that we both believe in, then we can just say, all right, cool.
Because talking about it beforehand, we've had many sessions where nothing's come of it. You're in with the XY, nothing's come of it. So to talk about it before, yeah, it doesn't make no sense.
Yeah,
when you've got a banger there, then you talk about it.
Of course, and that's the thing. It can be such a jarring conversation as well, isn't it? Like, just the best way to kill the chemistry in the room is to
exactly.
Right. So how are we going to split this? Then just all the creative energy.
We was at a song camp once, and like before the session comes, or I think it was at the end of the session, everybody has to write down their name and their splits with it. So that was a bit
awkward.
Yeah,
awkward.
It's just jarring, isn't it?
Because in that session, there was someone that was just sitting in the back of the room, just like didn't do nothing. They didn't know, you know.
How about 5% for doing nothing?
Yeah.
Amazing. What is the most common mistake that you see artists making these days when it comes to making and releasing music?
I think because I don't know, like a lot of artists tend to rush things. I mean, we're in a landscape where music takes time to travel now, you know, and I think if you don't see certain artists, they don't see certain reactors quickly, they do knee-jerk maneuvers, i.e. drop 17 records and it's just like you know, like it's just it's a hit and miss. Maybe one of those 17 records could connect, but you could be you damaging your brand by doing that, you know. I think that's what I've seen that could be, you know, the answer to your question.
I would say, in addition to that, I see this a lot more in the American market. Probably exists here, but it's not as obvious. But you got a lot of people that sound very similar. So a mistake for some artists nowadays is there's no distinction between you and this A, B, C, D. Like in America, you've got so many different people that sound like, you know, that down south future type mumble-esque rap. I think here we've got a lot of people that's got that drill, pattern flow, and their voices aren't distinctive or distinctively different from one another. You know, so I think that's maybe a mistake because that's working, so I'm going to do that. That's working, so I'm going to do that.
100% agree. And you're seeing it a lot with like the Afro swing stuff as well. A lot of guys kind of just trying to do that Afro swing
because they see it work.
Because they see all the prominent artists and the sound. But I agree, actually, the drill side of things as well. And especially in America, it's rife with it. Like, it's crazy. It's mad. When the DJ Mustard was on top, like everyone was coming up with that real West Coast sounding stuff. Back in the funky days, I remember Funky D walking into the club I was playing with a CD. And he was handing out "Are You Gonna Bang" on CD to all the DJs to make sure they're playing it. Nowadays it's not that. I don't remember the last time somebody gave me a CD. It's all online promo, and it's not about okay, well, let's make sure we're in Iron Appa doing a boots on the ground campaign. Let's make sure the video bangs. Do you know what I mean? So that everything's changed. Has it changed the way that you guys view the music industry?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll say. Once upon a time, urban music wasn't really valued as much by the music industry because you know they didn't think that the demographic of people listening would purchase it, they would rip it or whatever. But now that we have streaming, that's all changed because all the youngsters listen to music on their phones. They've got the packages, streaming packages XYZ. So making urban songs before you would say, might steer away from making lots of rap songs because that's not where the money is. If you're trying to make it in the music industry, you know, you might try and make more pop siding songs, sound songs. Whereas now, like, urban is pop, like, and there's value, and the value has been realized in the genre. So in terms of that aspect, consumption has changed as well. So just from that point alone. That's changed over the last 10 years.
I think you know what it is. You definitely hit the nail on the head there. Like, especially with the streaming, it's opened it up. But one thing I've noticed is the demographics have changed as well. So going back to the time where I'd see the artists out in Napa, they were very predominantly black crowds going to those events. So the people that are being promoted to there are mostly black people. Whereas now, I might play a show in Cambridge and like Dave from Cambridge is coming up and asking for our Harlem Spartans and Loski. Do you know what I mean? And it's like completely opened it up just to a whole demographic of people where the Harlem Spartans might not have been in such and such a club promoting and giving out CDs, etc. Because that's not the type of people that they're surrounded by. Does that make sense?
100%.
The internet has opened up. First it was, he's from your ends, you know him, he's big in the ends, and maybe if you watch what channel or channel AKA, you would be exposed to the music. Whereas now, you've got music, you've got visuals, people are they're getting booked for festivals, obviously streaming. So just the access. The access
is just crazy.
So that's great.
What does the future hold for iLL Blu? So you mentioned obviously you're working towards a project now. You've got your next single ready.
Yes,
it's 90% ready.
Not quite packaged,
90% ready. Just waiting for a verse.
Okay.
And then boom, we're good to go.
Should I even ask whose verse? You're not going to tell me, are you?
We got to keep on.
Chop My Money's the focus. But so I mean, are you working just singles, or actually you mentioned an album earlier?
Yeah, we're working on an album. Well, we're not like the days of I'm working on my album, locked in the dungeon. They've gone. So we're just working on tracks, which will lead to an album. So when it's ready. So
there's a demand for it.
When there's a demand, So right now, it's working on tracks, singles, bangers. So that's what we're kind of focused.
Do you do live show? Either of you DJ?
Yeah, DJ. We're starting to get back into that because I think the last few years we just kind of took a backseat, and I think now it's time. Well, we're getting a lot more inquiries now to do some shows, So
and that's it. You're in a position to get them dub plates running again. You've got the stems. You've got the stems for some of the biggest tunes like in the UK right now. So you can do some mad stuff live. Crazy. And not to mention festivals, the amount of artists you can bring out, and
that's
the future's bright, man. And not to mention iLL Blu, the lost tape.
Yes.
Mixed by DJDUBL, most highly anticipated.
We got to make that happen.
Definitely. Some of those unreleased gems your way.
Yes, amazing. Guys, it's been a pleasure. Thanks so much for passing through. Chop My Money's out now. Streaming, buying,
iTunes, Amazon,
Spotify, everywhere.
Apple Music,
HMV. Does HMV even exist anymore?
I don't know. Maybe one or two.
It exists, but not for really purchasing music like that, really, is it?
No, it's not, is it?
Yeah.
I haven't been at HMV for the longest time. But thank you for passing through, fellas.
Thank you
I appreciate
for having
it.
us.
DJDUBL here with iLL Blu.
You.